Booker, Stryker, Shinoda. It's got a lovely ring to it. How are you, sir? Congratulations on rolling this album, this single, this tour, this everything out, this new lead singer. First take, what's going through your head today?
Oh man, it's so crazy. Like we've been like putting these things together, writing these songs, working on everything you're seeing and hearing right now for I mean at this point months and years. So it's been like this big secret that we've kept and to be able to kind of like release it all at once like this has been, thrilling.
Mike Shinoda's with Booker and Stryker. Emily Armstrong, Booker and I have known of her for a long time. I'm sure you have as well. But what was it about her that led to her being part of Linkin Park now?
I mean, we met back in like before the pandemic. We did a few sessions, and like then I didn't see her for a while, and I was just like, man, she just I kept thinking like she's really good. Like I wonder what it would sound like to write some new stuff with her, and in around I think it was like around like 2021 ish. I started doing a lot of sessions with other people, like writing, producing for other people, and intentionally like staying away from doing anything with my voice on it or anything like that. And in that process of like starting to be like just meet other folks, it kind of became more obvious to me that it's not just about, for me, like working on new music or like being in a creative, partnership like Linkin Park. It's not about just like are people good at what they do? Like it's not just like are you great at guitar? Do you have a great voice? Whatever. It was more about the like chemistry in the room. And at some point those sessions turned into Linkin Park sessions. Well, I shouldn't say that. Actually, it was more like they turned into like experiments with me and Dave and Joe and some other people. We started bringing in different people, and we brought in a guy named Colin Britton, and we brought in Emily, and Brad joined and stuff. And those like ideas, like those rough, like, hey, let's get together, ended up starting to turn into like, oh, this is like a Linkin Park song.
Mhm. We would have these conversations, you, Stryker, and me, and we would always inevitably come back to the idea of could this be a band again someday? And you've always,
Mm.
I don't know, kind of left it sort of open ended. Was there an audition process for this in your mind? Were people always auditioning, or was this more of it just
Oh,
everyone looked at one another and said,
yeah,
"Hey,
no, it
this
was the
kind of makes
complete, it was
sense"?
like really the opposite. It was really the opposite of that. Like people had suggested all kinds of stuff, if you can imagine, since Chester passed.
Hmm.
Like there would be like, oh, hey, check out this singer, you should try them out. You should do like an audition tryout thing. Oh, what about like it would be unknown people, it would be really well-known people, it would be, hey, you should do like um a vocal like the Voice American Idol style contest, and whoever wins is like the singer. Like
Ugh.
there's so all any idea you could have about how the band figures this out, that idea was thought of and came to us, and we heard it, and in every case we were just kind of like, nah, I don't think that's it. And I think we just needed time to settle, years, really, to like settle and try the things and take some have some space. And then eventually things just started to like fall into place. It really started with me and Joe and Dave, like I said, like just kind of getting together and messing around and talking. Like sometimes we just get together and talk about stuff. And though, yeah, it just slowly became more and more clear to us like what combination of people and what combination of like sounds was the thing.
Mike, one of the many things we've been talking about on our show is the fact that you and the guys are in a place mentally to allow yourselves to do that. I think that's probably the number one highlight for a lot of us that you're doing
Mm.
this. Booker and I are curious, though, when it comes to the new song that we've been playing, The Emptiness Machine, and then you got the new album dropping November 15th. How collaborative is it among everybody in the band creating these songs? Like, where does Emily come in terms of writing and using her take on music to be part of all these songs?
Oh, that's a great question. So the dynamic is always pretty fluid in our band. Like, you know, if you were to think like, oh, well, Joe is a DJ, so therefore he must be the one doing the scratching and the beats. Like that's not always true. Like sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. My personal opinion is that his best contributions to our albums have always been other things. It's like ideas that he says, what if the concept of the whole record is kind of like this, or like what have you guys been, you know, I've been noticing in the conversations like these topics keep coming up. Do you think that's something to like focus on more? Like stuff like that is so abstract and big that to imagine that anybody in the band is like their primary, you know, role is an instrument is silly. So the bottom line is like I think with Emily and Colin, like obviously they did help write the record. And obviously me and Joe and Brad and Dave helped write the record. And the six of us were really the core of the whole thing. As usual, you know, I was kind of at the helm, maybe actually even more than usual because we didn't work with a, you know, like a Rick Rubin or somebody else. So it's really just for all intents and purposes, I was producing the record. And then Colin, one of the reasons why I kept doing sessions with him after I first met him was because he is also a producer and a writer. And I found a really good synergy with him. So he was actually picking up like tasks and like coming in like with ideas in the room, coming up with ideas in the room that were really like, it felt like it gave us a ton of momentum. We had a really good new strong team.
When you guys played yesterday, it was a very tight performance, which led me to thinking you guys seem like you've rehearsed a lot. And how did you do that? How did you keep
That's
this under?
crazy because like we
How did you
literally
keep
just
it
kind
under
of
wraps?
we just like, you know, got together 2 days ago and just kind of said like, what if we do a show? And we just threw this thing together.
Really?
No, 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 no,
I
no.
don't believe it either.
I think that the stage alone couldn't even be like put together that quickly. Like we've been working on this for months. We've been working on this for, I mean, if you think about like some of it, like years. Um, and it's one thing that's so unique about so the record's called From Zero. Our original band name when it was, I mean, the early version of it, it was just me and my like my friend from high school, Mark. We were called Zero, and then we added Brad, and we added Dave, and we added Joe, and eventually Zero became Hybrid Theory, and Hybrid Theory became Linkin Park. Um, like trivia note, that band was XERO, and this album is from ZERO, but whatever, because it's double entendre. It's like we're kind of starting from scratch, right?
Right.
And yeah, like in doing so, there wasn't like an identifiable beginning. Like it wasn't like, oh yeah, you know, 2 years ago we started this process. We said we're gonna bring the band back. We did not do that. That was
Hmm.
not how it happened. It was just like we were just reconnecting and slowly like things were evolving. And it wasn't until we had a bunch of songs that we even started thinking about who the people were. Like, does that make sense to have like maybe like half an album's worth of music and we didn't even have like a defined singer yet? It was really weird. Like the band came into focus as the music came into focus.
Right. Well, not to scare the crap out of you, but you know, Oasis gets back together, great. And in a year from now, they're going to do a show. You decided, hey, let's do a show next Wednesday. Okay. Now that doesn't seem sane to Stryker or me.
The scariest part about the whole thing is for me was that we really wanted to give the fans like everything. normally I find myself like whenever we have like a release coming up, I find myself trying to like pull back the fans' expectations a little bit, or at least get them directed in the right place. Because a lot of times people's imaginations are really great and they come up with these cool things that you could be doing that maybe are better than what you're actually doing. So knowing in this case that we basically that wasn't going to happen, like we have it all for them. And so yesterday, while we were on stage playing a set, live streaming the set, the website switches over. It's got a new song. It's got the video for that song. It's got concert dates, tickets, fan club pre-sale, pre-orders for every format you can imagine of the record. Like you can go on the website and buy it now. Um, all of it was there, and we're ahead of that. Like we've got other stuff in the pipeline coming up in the next in the coming weeks and months. So that was the part I was like, this is just a lot to make sure that it actually gets put up on time and put up correctly without any major problems. And somehow our team and our band was able to pull it off.
Well, you got a great team.
I'm ready. Honestly, I'm ready to go to sleep for a month.
Well, you can't do that because
Sorry.
in just a few days, you're going to be at the Great Western Miracle in Manchester Forum doing a show. Wait, last couple of things, then we're going to get you out of here. For those watching, it's Mike Shinoda. If you're listening on the good old radio or streaming, Mike Shinoda is joining Booker and Stryker. Did you send any hate text messages to Jay Gordon saying, what the hell are you doing?
He was funny. I know you're talking about the fact that he said a while back that he heard that Linkin Park was going to have a female singer.
Yes.
And I think in spite of that, I think we kept things under wraps really well.
Yeah.
He was funny because he backed down. He said that, and the guy said, really? And he said, oh, I actually don't know anything. It's just a thing that I heard. Like, don't quote me. And of course, everybody quoted him.
Right.
And, like I've been in that position before where maybe not like, to the degree that he was in, but like slipping and saying something in front of people where you shouldn't have said it and whatever. But in his defense, like he didn't actually know anything. He was just saying a thing he had heard. So my favorite part though was like the people had put out all these, theories about who the singer was going to be. And it's like after they did each one, that person was like, no, like I can't do it, or I'm not the one. Like
poor Derek Whibley decides to
he's like,
make
I've got a big announcement. They're like, you're the singer of Linkin Park. He's like, no, I've got a book. Like what?
Poor guy.
Yeah, no.
I mean, and there were a lot of theories. I mean, did any of these, like, you got Lizzie Hale. I mean, is she reaching out to you? She posted.
I don't know the details of this, so I'm going to do a Jay Gordon right now.
Okay.
And say, I heard that Lizzie sent Emily a really nice text or direct message after she saw the performance yesterday and was like, dude, girl, great job. Like Emily said something about, I heard her say something about that Lizzie had mentioned it. So that was very sweet. But yeah, like people like I will say this, like for a lot of fans who grew up with us the way, with Chester singing, it's a big change and an emotional moment, right? For us to be coming back and for us to have anybody else singing the songs. And I respect that, man. Like for some people, they're ready to jump on board and follow the band around the planet. And other people are like, this is like weird to me. Like it's hard for me to wrap my brain around it because I never imagined the band sounding any other way. So like our door is open to those people. Like you don't have to come around today, but like give us a chance. We're doing exactly what we want to do. We love this new album. You guys, I'm like so pumped about this new record. Like take it for a spin. Give us a shot. I think you'll like it. You may not like it the first minute, but I think you'll be able to wrap your heads around it. And by the way, connect with the fact that sometimes, like for a band like us, you can go through something very difficult and get knocked down and have the guts and spend the effort and the time to get back up again and go out there.
Mike, well said. And we are pulling for you like crazy. The Emptiness Machine, we're playing, feels like every 20 minutes, and it sounds great. And of course,
Well,
From
we did play it
Zero-
every 20 minutes
Oh,
yesterday.
yeah, I guess we did. And From Zero drops November 15th. Congratulations, Mike. Thank you so much for jumping on with us. We can't wait to see you at the
Appreciate
forum.
that. Thank you so much, guys. Yeah, see you at the forum in 5 days. I don't
Yes, sir. See you
Look
then.
at that.
know. See you then.
Congrats again, man. We're so
Poor
happy
guy.
for you and everybody.
Thanks.